Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. Yes, Tony isn't able to make it today, so he's recorded just a short video to set the scene for today's session. And then we have our colleague Yoon from the Ecoscope team, who's going to talk a bit about the topics we're going to cover today. So I'll just play the video first, and then we'll take it from there.
Welcome to our Snow Leopard Network webinar series. This is week 4. And today we're going to talk about how we take the data that we've been using in EarthRanger and turn it into actionable information we can use for conservation management. So we're going to talk about a couple of things in this session. First of all, the challenge of bringing our data together and the challenge of how we turn it into information. We're going to talk about a tool called Ecoscope, which is a platform that takes your data from EarthRanger and allows you to make visualizations and reports and analytical workflows that can then turn your data into information. So we're going to start with an overview of this topic, and we're going to discuss EarthRanger and Ecoscope in succession. So your data sources from the field can be varied. The data can come in from many different sources. Many of you are using GPS collars, VHF collars to collect data on your animals, to track your animals. Some of you are using mobile apps to collect data in the field, make observations of animals and threats to animals. Some of you are using camera traps, and some of you are using satellite remote sensing tools, such as Global Forest Watch. Some of you are using drones, and all of these different data sources can be integrated into the EarthRanger platform using the tool called Gundi, which we heard about in previous webinars. So there's a big range of use cases for EarthRanger: ecological management, wildlife monitoring, human-wildlife coexistence, security monitoring, monitoring the safety of personnel in the field, and logistics and management of protected areas and conserved areas. So all of these use cases produce data. And just a review of the tools that are available to the web platform, where you see all of the data appearing in one place. When the EarthRanger mobile application allows you to turn your smartphone into a data collecting device. And Ecoscope, which is the tool that we're going to talk about today for creating reports and visualizations of data. And we just mentioned Gundi. So just a review again, this is what the EarthRanger platform looks like. This is the web platform. Having logged in, we see all our data sources in one place. We see our events appearing, things that have been recorded, data that's been imported from other sources appearing as events. We also have subjects that we can track. Subjects can be ranger teams or wildlife monitoring teams or animals. And we can also record patrol data. And this is just a visualization of how things move from the mobile app into the web platform. So using the mobile app, you can create a data model that reflects the things that you want to be recording in the field. And once again, this is completely customizable. When we set up EarthRanger for you at your site, we get you a data model and help you to create a digital tool for collecting the data. That data is collected and then it goes into the web platform where you'll see it all appear. So the key concepts, which are really important to consider for the next few slides and into the next presentation: subjects, events, and patrols. So subjects are things that we track. Subjects can be animals. Subjects can be things that are moving, ranger patrol teams, wildlife monitoring teams. Anything that we're tracking in real time is a subject. Then we have things that are events, things that happen, things that are recorded that we have a location or a timestamp for, such as observations made using the mobile app. And then we have patrols. So patrols are essentially a story that occurs over time. So patrols have a track and they have events. And so a patrol can start somewhere and then move through the terrain, and along the way, events are recorded by the team that's using the mobile tools until the end of the patrol, which is also recorded. So subjects, events, and patrols, really important to think about these things. So now we're going to hand over to Yun, who's going to lead us through a presentation about Ecoscope, taking data to decisions.
Okay, thank you for your attention, everyone. And now I'll hand over to Yoon, who will talk us through Ecoscope. Thank you, Yoon.
Thank you, Alien. Hello, everybody. Maybe the first time I meet you guys. My name's Yun. I'm an engineer in EarthRanger and mainly worked on this project called Ecoscope that helps analyze data. So yeah, Tony and I believe Alien and everybody has been introduced to this EarthRanger platform that help you collect real-time data and then monitor it from the web app. With Ecoscope, we try to help analyze and generate report from that data. So on the analyze step, we can create that kind of a dashboard where you can group data based on your need and then filter data and interactively look up for the information you need. Report is something we generate as using a Jinja template in Word and then create a Word document, and you can customize and modify them in the future. So Ecoscope not only handle EarthRanger data sources, we also integrate with other data sources as well, like Smart, which is also a commonly used tool for patrolling. Google Earth Engine is usually we use Google Earth Engine to process satellite images and then local data where you can, if you have a local data set and then you want to do some analysis using Ecoscope, you can still do that. But the data models need to follow the pattern that Ecoscope can understand. So this is Ecoscope's mission, so it can help easily turn raw data into actionable insights to drive protected area management, policy actions, and conservation research. What does it mean? So what is an insight? In Ecoscope, we believe insight is composed of two parts, a question and an indicator. To be able to drive clear insight and finally like action and more importantly actionable insights, we need to ask the right questions and then answer the question by indicators. The indicators come from the raw data that we can collect either from EarthRanger or from other tools. Raw data could be like patrols, location, GPS data, surveys, or incidents reports. So based on those raw data, we can create a certain kind of indicator. Like in this example, based on all the like incidents happened, we can create a density map. And using that density map, we can generate some kind of insight. Like here, like if the example here, the question is, where are the human wildlife conflict hotspots? And we answer it with a density map so that to understand, okay, like the conflicts are concentrated in a certain hotspot areas. And from there, we can derive actions like where we prioritize patrols, camera traps, or other monitoring or alerting tools. So in this presentation, I will present examples of those insights from three different categories. Environment, which is like how we understand like the ecosystem. And an example here is, for example, how are snow leopards using the landscape? It's an environment question. The second category is human-wildlife interface that include poaching and human-wildlife conflict and other interfaces. And the third category is operations. So these are like the operations that conservationists needs to do on a daily basis. So Ecoscope can help you understand those operations. So we start with environment. Here, the key question we have is how are tracked individuals using the landscape? I'm using an elephant's data set here. So there are a few indicators we need to we calculate to try to answer that question. The first set of indicators are dataset overview. We need to understand the dataset first. How many locations are there? How long? What's the total distance of the trajectory? And what is the total duration of this dataset? So this is around like 3-year dataset for elephant called Salif in Mali in the desert. Then we have a movement summary. Here we analyze, we use some statistics to try to summarize the movement. So first of all is a night-day ratio, which can help us understand their behavior, mean and max speed. Then we generate a set of maps to understand the movement pattern. These maps include a speed map, a home range, and night-day map. A speed map is basically a trajectory map labeled by the speed, like how fast the elephant traveled during that segment. Home range, here we use elliptical time density to calculate home range, and then the night-day map, which is a trajectory labeled by the night day. We also have another plot called net squared displacement to understand like how far the individual traveled from its original point. So for this elephant Salif Keita, we can clearly see it has this migration pattern that they almost always go to the same spot annually. So from those indicators, we can generate a few insights on how this individual using the landscape. Like so we can see the elephant is migratory on a fixed annual cycle. It has a reliance on a few critical sites. It has this corridor-like movement, and it's a nocturnal crepuscular bias. It does move during the day and night, but move longer distance at night. So from those insights, we can decide on smart actions, like where we prioritize anti-poaching patrols. We can create a predictable calendar on a yearly basis to predict where the individuals could be. Like in June, like it almost go to the same spot every year in June. So that area needs to be prioritized for anti-poaching or for human-wildlife conflict. We also need to. It also shows the hotspots and corridors, so to help like planning. We can also advise communities on nighttime risks. And like, of course, to monitor elephant movement, we need night-capable tools like thermal camera traps or thermal drones. So that's just an example, and I will go through a few examples quickly for the time's sake. This is another example of camera traps. So based on the camera trap data, we can generate trend, we can generate distribution over geospaces, and explore the output by species. There are other key environmental factors like temperature, precipitation, NDVI, and forest cover trend that are all very helpful for us to understand the local ecosystem. The next category is human-wildlife conflict. So here we can use Ecoscope to understand the prevalent and severance of human-wildlife conflict in a certain area. With Ecoscope, you can also define your own question and customize your workflow. So this is an example of a few indicators we created for Big Life Foundation based in Amboseli, Kenya. So in the two examples, the first one is that organization give compensation if there's a human-wildlife conflict, and they want to understand what's the responsibility of every species to asset loss. So this is something very specific to their organization, and we create these tables to help them to visualize the data. Crop rating density, they provide a few important geofences to put on the map, like where are the ranger land, where are the conservancies, where are the private settlement, all those things. We can put it on the same map to understand how like different type of land use is affected by crop rating. Operations, here we use the example of patrol efforts. A lot of conservancies do patrols, so we want to understand like the patrol, how much patrol efforts has been put there, maybe in our monthly report, quarterly report, or report to the board. So we have total patrols, we can calculate total patrol time and total distance. We also have a map view of like the patrol trajectory and what happened during those patrols. Here we have another indicator called encounter rate that can help us not only understand the patrol efforts, but also the patrol effectivity. So it is basically the patrol effort. It's the number of observations or number of events normalized by the patrol efforts, either by patrol time or patrol distance. And by understanding, by analyzing the general trend of encounter rate, it can help us understand like the areas we may otherwise neglect because we don't do enough patrols there. And then from those information, we can decide on we can do patrol planning on the next month. So yeah, those are a few examples that Ecoscope can help you analyze the EarthRanger data. So why Ecoscope? We believe with Ecoscope, it can help us make better decisions by turning field data into clear insights. Compared with other business intelligence tools, Ecoscope is built for conservation. So the whole system is designed around wildlife, around patrols, and around protected area management. So like everything is built for conservation. The indicators in Ecoscope are carefully reviewed by the domain experts so that you can have standardized outputs to help us analyze the pattern and to easily see the trends. So save analysis time. This is actually like one of the main reasons why a lot of conservancies use Ecoscope. Previously, it takes them like days to create a monthly report. But with Ecoscope, we can generate the output in a few minutes. Actually, hopefully today we will have time to try it out and try to run a certain workflow and see so that everybody have an experience of how easy or hard. I hope it's easy to run an Ecoscope workflow. And finally, Ecoscope is open and extensible. So like EarthRanger, Ecoscope is open source, so that teams can adapt. And then if you feel like your workflow or your analysis can benefit other teams, you can also contribute back so that others can use your workflow as well. And also, like EarthRanger Ecoscope is completely free for everyone to use. So how can I set it up on Ecoscope? We need to set up three things. One is the data source that is where the data from. To analyze the data, first we need to have the data. So that's like the first step. You need to give Ecoscope the credentials you have to your EarthRanger site so that Ecoscope can pull the data for you. If you don't have access to the EarthRanger data, then you won't be able to analyze the data. So the permission of Ecoscope is the same as the permission you have on EarthRanger. The second is a workflow. A workflow is like what is the way a set of logics that defines how you compute, how you analyze the data. And finally, the configurations. This is a customization part where you can customize, okay, which group I want to analyze on, what's the time range I want to analyze like, how the map should look like. So all of them is it's defined in the configuration form. And after that, you can get three kinds of output: a dashboard, which is a interactive web page that you can look deeper into the areas. A report is a Word document, and raw data that you can import to either QGIS or just look at it in Excel in Excel to see the data directly. I also want to share this page with this group because Ecoscope also want to build this community that everybody can contribute to the platform. So it's not like one side. Okay, we computer software developers define the way that people can analyze the data. So actually, the analysts or the researchers, they can come up with different methodology or like a statistical analysis method to analyze a certain to be able to drive certain insight from the raw data, and then we developers can implement that so that we can generate those workflows easily, and then the managers will be able to look at the Ecoscope output easily, whenever they are interested in a certain topic, they can just within a few clicks get the information they need. And finally, with the long form reports, hopefully the decision maker can also benefit from those kind of insights and decide on what to do next. So with that, let's try to start. Try to set up an Ecoscope account, and then we can do a hands-on session together. So if everybody can go to this site. If you go to this site, you should see a page like this, and you can set up your Ecoscope account by sign up here. Click on sign up, and it will go to a Google form, and you just need to put in your email address, organizations, EarthRanger site. So you can insert this. So this one is only for our own record. If you don't have a EarthRanger site, just put Snow Leopard webinar network or EarAsia. Both are fine. And then your country and contact name, and click on submit. Okay, EarAsia is fine for the EarthRanger site. Okay, and then click on submit. within 10 minutes, you should be able to get an email about reset password. So let's do this Google form first, and then after 10 minutes, we'll check our email to reset the password and then start trying Ecoscope.
Yun, can they also go straight to ecoscope.io?
Yes, but it will also lead you to this page.
Same thing.
Go to ecoscope.io and web app. It's the same page. If you already have an EarthRanger site, then it's best to use your own site. If you don't have one, you can use EarthAsia. Let's use this one. Okay, I'll move on. But if you haven't got a chance to set it up, we can follow up later. Next, I'll just go through a few key concepts on Ecoscope. As I said before, a data source is a connection to an external system that contains operational data like GPS observation, patrol logs, or event records. That's how Ecoscope can pull the data. The second one is a workflow that is a structured data processing pipelines that's transforming raw data into spatials. Each workflow has four components. It needs to have a data source where we pull the data. It has a workflow template that defines the logic and the configuration form for customization and output like dashboard, report, or raw data. As I said, the workflow template is a data-specific data logic. The data logic is predefined but can be configured and customized later. Configuration is a set of parameters to determine the context of the workflow, like the name of the workflow, where the data from, how we process data, filter the data, group the data, and some output configuration. So now I don't know if you have received the email yet. But let's look at the data source first. Let's look at the EarthRanger web page. I don't know if everybody has used EarthRanger or like has tried EarthRanger out before to see the snow leopard dataset. Thanks to Alien who helped us set up this snow leopard dataset in Mongolia. There are, I think, 11 snow leopard in total, and we can see there are some here, and some here. So if we zoom in, we can see the trajectory of these. I think there are two snow leopard here, one male and one female, and here's the trajectory. You can also see their their heat map, configure the heat map, radius to understand their movement. But EarthRanger is mainly used for a monitoring tool to like see the movement of these snow leopards in real time. But with Ecoscope, we can have like more longer term and more more sophisticated analysis on the movement data. So if you go to your email and you can check if you have received an email from Ecoscope that says an email from EarthRanger support to reset the password. If you have got that, then you can use that password, that link to log in to Ecoscope. But for the time's sake, I'll just show everything first, and then maybe people can follow on later. So first, you log into the Ecoscope app, and the landing page is My Workflows. These are all the workflows you have run previously. So for if you have a new account on this page, you should see nothing like there. You haven't run any workflows. And what you need to do first is to set up your data source. So you can go to the Data Sources tab and click on Connect Data Source, and there will be a pop-up window to connect Ecoscope to EarthRanger. So you can give this data source a name. In this example, we use this EarthAsia site, so you can just put EarthAsia there. If you have multiple account and things like that, like it's also recommended to have your account name here. If you only have one account, then you just put the site name as a data source name. And the EarthRanger site would be er-asia.pumdas.io.org. So for the username and password, Alien, everybody should have their EarthRanger account, right? So
Yep.
just to clarify, this is your EarthRanger account. This is not your Ecoscope account. So you just put the EarthRanger username and password there. If you don't have a username, EarthRanger username to this EarAsia site, you can use Ecoscope. There's a account called Ecoscope that we set up as a demo account that has view permission to that data set. So the password should be ATBC.26. So after you fill in all the information and you click on connect, then you should be able to connect Ecoscope to EarthRanger. So I won't click on connect, but that's what you are gonna do. And then you should be able to see the data source name here with the domain year Asia, and the connection type should be EarthRanger. And then you go to workflow templates and click on subject tracking workflow. This workflow analyze subject tracks. A subject to be like a tracked animal, like elephant collar, or like a snow leopard tags. It can also be a person, like a ranger or like a vehicle. They can all be a subject. And this is just a general workflow that tries to analyze any subject tracks. So you need to select your data source here. I use EarthAsia Ecoscope, and in your case, it should be EarthAsia. So click on Next. A workflow configuration form will pop up, and here you can put the workflow name. So in this example, we are trying to analyze that snow leopard dataset. So you can see snow leopard analysis. Um, and the data source, you should see your pre-selected data source here that cannot be changed at this moment. Then you decide on the home range, the time range. Sorry, the time range. I think this one, the earliest is from 2025. 25 until today is fine. So you just need to change the scenes to include the whole data set. And the subject group name, you can select snow leopards. Everything else, you can leave it as default, and we'll get back to them later. That's all you need. You need to define the workflow name. You need to set the time range. You need to select the subject group snow leopard, and then click on submit. So it will bring you back to this My Workflow page, and you can see this workflow information has already been successfully, configuration has been submitted to Ecoscope server. So you just click on Run and wait for it to run. I think people should have received that password reset email. So while we're waiting, can you go back to check your email and see if you got that email from EarthRanger support? If you don't still haven't got it, it may be in your spam. Check your spam. Okay, so this workflow has run successfully. We can see the duration is 1 minute. So in order to process like 1 year data for 11 snow leopards, take 1 minute. Cool. Then I'll do the whole work the whole flow again. Start with data sources. Connect data source. Data source name ERAsia. Uh, EarthRanger URL ERAsia. And for the username, you can either use if you remember your EarthRanger username, just use that one. If not, use Ecoscope account. Username is Ecoscope. Password is ATBC-2026. And then after that, click on Connect. So click on Connect. You should see the data source here, and go to Workflow Templates tab. You should see 7 different workflow templates. And in this demo, we're going to try this subject tracking workflow. This one, the purple one. Subject tracking workflow. Click on it and then select the data source you just created, ERAsia, and click on Next. Then you go to the workflow configuration page. From here, you just need to put the workflow name, Snow Leopard demo, and the time range from January 1st, 2025. And select the subject group, snow leopards. These 2 things are very important, time range and subject group. Without that, you won't get the information you need. So the workflow name, you can just put any name there so that you know that's a workflow. But you need to say the time range should be starting from January 1st, 2025, and the subject group should be snow leopards. Once you get those filled out, and then just click on Submit. And you should be able to see this. The status is ready. And once you get here, you just click on Run and see the workflow running. So this is the information you need to put in the configuration form. So again, start with data source, connect EarthRanger site with ERAsia, and then select subject tracking template from the workflow template tab. Okay, looks like we have seen a failure after clicking on run. So that's actually a good time to show you something that will help understand your failure. So if you go to the workflow and click on view metadata, so click on view metadata, then you should be able to see this JSON. So because this workflow has run successfully, you won't see an error message. But if your workflow failed, then here you should see a red box that highlight the error message. Usually it comes to usually it's like wrong data source or wrong time range or subject group. So just make sure the time range. I think the subject group is pretty clear here. Just select snow leopards, but the time range, make sure it start from 2025, January 1st, 2025. Oh, so you don't have permission to that subject group, which can you use are you using Ecoscope account or your own account? I think everybody should have access to that data set. So make sure, so if you're, I believe everybody have access, but if you use a Ecoscope account, then you will definitely have access to the data set. But even with your own account, that should also work. That's weird. Can you try create another data source with Ecoscope account? Okay, we have 1 minute left. I just want to show you the output of uh, the workflow. So this is the one we used my workflows. So you can see the all the workflows. Like you can see the workflow status here, and if you click on it, it will bring you to a dashboard. This is what a dashboard looks like. So on the left side, you will see a few context about this dashboard, the name, the time range, and like time zone, things like that. And then there are a few stats that's important to analyze subject tracks. The 9-day ratio, the mean max speed, number of locations, distance, and total time range. Then there's this trajectory map, which is labeled by speed. You can zoom in to a certain area. So this is this area we just explored on EarthRanger, and this is what it looks like on Ecoscope. And you just labeled by the speed. A cool feature here is this camera icon. So if you click on camera, then it will create an PNG file that you can use in your own report. There's this speed map, home range, and it calculates home range for these four groups of snow leopard. As we can see, even though there are 11 snow leopard records, they are only located in four groups, and you can see the percentile of like its dispersal area within last year. This is also a trajectory map, but labeled by night day, and where you can explore, like you can see, okay, this snow leopard move at night when it explore like exploratory areas, and during daytime it tends to stay in its core area. And this is a net squared displacement. So you can see, like, yeah, I can explore this graph later, but like there you can see different patterns from different individuals. When some move more during winter, some more stable during summer, and some like doesn't see that pattern. So you can see a difference in the individual behaviors. Cool. We are 3 minutes over time. Recap after connecting data source, go to workflow template, subject tracking workflow, select the data source, click on next, workflow name, time range, and subject group, and submit. Okay. We are over time, so I will stop here. But there are much more to explore on these workflows. So there are patrols workflow, event details, all meant for different things. And within the configuration form, there are other configurations like group data. So we can basically generate replicate the same analysis on different groups. So the previous analysis runs the analysis on 11 leopards combined, but you can group data by like subject name so that we only analyze the subject tracks for one individual. You can also group data by the time. So you can generate analysis for every year. Like you can compare the difference between 2025, 2026. There are also trajectory segment filter. So sometimes there are some outliers in the GPS record. So you can filter them out by for example, the maximum segment length. And like if we know the maximum speed of snow leopard, we can set the maximum speed. We can also set the mean maximum duration. Map base layer by default, we have two base layer terrain and satellite, but you can add and edit the base layers as well. Time density, there are also a set of configurations to customize that. So as Alien said, there are more in detailed guidance on the support on EarthRanger support document. There's also a community Ecoscope community site that you are we are pretty active there to respond any questions among workflows. So this is the general EarthRanger training and support information. So Ecoscope and EarthRanger share the same support. If you have any issue, just reach out, and our team, amazing in responding to those issues. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, I'll end here. Aileen.
Thank you very much, Yoon. Yeah, there's a little bit of content to get through in a short amount of time, but hopefully everyone has an account now. So if you would like to after this session, you can try logging in. You can use the link that I shared in the chat, and that will guide you through step by step what Yoon just talked you through as well. So you can try running some example workflows from the EarthRanger site and see what results you can get.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Yoon, for your really informative, interactive session. Thank you, Alien, for facilitation and guidance. And then everyone, thank you very much for participations. As Yoon says, any questions, please reach out to us. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.